What up, folks? I decided today that I'm gonna tell a story. I've been in New York City for about, well, my son was like 9 months old when we moved down here, so he'll be 6 in December. So we'll say 5 years. So in my 5 years, I've happened to come across a few famous people. New York City. I will say one thing is that when you do come across a famous person, you'll see them. So like I haven't met anybody like super super huge, but in my opinion, I've met one of the hugest stars that I'll probably see the whole time that I'm in New York City, and I met Michael J. Fox walking down Fifth Avenue. It was the funniest thing. Actually, no, um, Michael J. Fox and Leo Cole, former head of Def Jam. I met him at the Wiz Khalifa Big Sean concert that I went to last summer. But it was just random. It was a random mishap when I met Michael J. Fox. Like me and my sister, we were together and we were on Fifth Avenue, and we had just came from the Nike store. So we're walking up the block, and we just see this little white man just standing at the corner like he's about to cross the street, and we're like, "That's Michael J. Fox." Like we just instantly knew that that was Alex P. Keaton right standing right there. Like there's no way you can mistake him for anybody else. He actually could have been another random ass white person though. But by the time we got there, he was still standing at the corner because the light had just turned green to go that way, and we was walking up. So he actually had the right way to cross though. But by the time we got up there, it was actually him. And we was sitting there, we was geeked because, that's motherfucking Marty McFly standing in front of us. Like, we were so hyped, we didn't even want to ask him for his autograph. But, he's like the highlight person. When I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, when I first moved here, I actually met the 2007 New York Knicks team, minus Jamal Crawford and Stephon Marbury. Those are the only two players that I didn't meet, though. But I met Ronaldo Ballman, David Lee, Wilson Chandler, Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson is actually very, very cool. Not Eddie Griffin. God bless him. Eddie Curry. Who else was on that team? There's a bunch of scrubs on that team, though. But yeah, I met them niggas. And let's see. One drunken night on 72nd Street, I met Tiana Taylor and Irv Gotti. I was drunk, and it was funny because I was telling everybody like, yo, I'm gonna ask Irv Gotti why he ain't working because he should be working here right now. He a busboy. I'm very disrespectful because fuck Murder Inc. But that that was pretty much it. Let's see, who else did I meet? I met, like I said, I met Leo Cole at the Big Sean Wiz Khalifa concert. Actually, it was after the concert. I didn't even see him there. We were leaving, and as we're sitting there waiting for my mom to pick us up because we was going back to Long Island, he just walks right in front of us, and we're like, "Oh my God!" Like that's Russell Simmons, like right hand man. Like that was our main initial reaction. Who else have I met? I always think about like what would happen if I met like you when you come to New York City, you want a chance meeting someone, and just not a regular person though, but someone like you want to meet all your people like Tumblr heads. If all the New York City Tumblr heads, if I actually see you, I'm gonna say what's up to you. But at the same time, like there's certain people that I would love to meet, like of course Amber Riley. I would have loved to have met Mia Amber Davis, Takara. Actually, I do actually have a chance at meeting Takara because the church that my son's mother goes to, my son's grandmother goes to, she's actually a member of that church. So there's a chance that I could actually go to that church and run into her. So I might have to clean this up. I don't want to scare her. What else? I would love to meet, like, have just so happened to run into Memphis Bleak, you know, and he got Blue Ivy with him, you know, I would love to run into him because, you know, he's their nanny. But um, I would also love to randomly walk into the Louis Vuitton store and they try and throw me out because Kanye's in there shopping and he wanted the store closed and shit. But, you know, that's very rarely going to happen. If he's going to shop there, it'd probably be like on some early morning shit. And they would shut the store down for like 3 hours or whatever. Who else? Like anytime. Matter of fact, what's the name? Neil Caffrey from White Collar. I forgot his real name, but I would love to meet him. He seems like a cool ass dude. And because they film White Collar here in New York City, I would love to meet Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Like, she's been like a crush since the Saved by the Bell days. So just to get that out my system, I would love to just meet her and give her a hug. There's various other people that I would love to meet, and if they're in New York City and I happen to find out that they're here and I have Metro money for me to get around, I'm going to find out where they are. Like, then there's just certain people that, you know, you're always going to see. Like, Jadakiss is always in Yonkers. So, like, you're not really, if you know exactly where he's from in Yonkers, you're not really going to, like, not see him there. Because, I mean, like, hood niggas stay in the hood still. The only person that I probably wouldn't actually meet is Cameron, because, like Cam said, he gets it in Ohio. So, I seriously doubt he's here all the time, but I would love to meet him too. I gotta go down to the Rucker, but it always seems like they're shooting at the Rucker when I want to go down there. So like, I can't do no shotgun. I can't do no shots like that. Now we talking about getting up jumpers, yes, but we talking about busting guns. I'll stay my ass in the house. But I gotta get down to the Rucker. I'm at Alamo, street ball legend, Alamo the Black Widow. I met him. Actually, I was coming from Syracuse when I lived in Syracuse, and I was coming down here to visit my son a weekend after I worked like 90 hours in 2 weeks, and I seen the nigga on the train. And mind you, he's the tallest nigga on the train, so you know you're like, yo, that nigga looked like he was the tallest and he was the blackest dude on the train. Like, I think he was the darkest nigga, and then I was like the second darkest nigga, and then there was like a bunch of Spanish people on the train. And it was like 9 o'clock at night. I actually still have his autograph. He gave me his autograph. He autographed my Greyhound ticket. But he was a cool ass dude too. Like, you would think like certain people are just like real whatever toward meeting people or whatever, especially him, because you know he don't fuck with N1 like that though. And you know that's the first thing I brought up. Like, yo, I know you Alamo the Black Widow from like N1 mixtape volume 1 and volume 6. Like, I know who you are. Like, I actually tried to pattern my game after you. But you don't want to sit there and knowingly knowing that, you know, he don't fuck with him like that because he said that it's staged, and you know, like, he don't play that type of ball though. You know, he was still a cool ass dude, and cool enough to even be like, you know, I don't fuck with N1 like that though, but you know, I'll do this for you. So he signed my ticket. I actually wish I had the Skip versus Alamo tape on me, and I could have got him to sign that because I still had the full tape. My son ripped the case though. I'm pissed off at him about that, but he ripped the case. I'm gonna go on eBay, see if I can find one. And who else did I meet? Actually, my son's mother got Eddie Curry's autograph, which is probably worth like a pack of Capri Suns or something. But you know, like, considering that he's the only NBA player that who actually currently has an NBA ring, and we got an autograph for, that's cool. Like, I've met various people in my life that, you know, actually wound up being somewhat famous. My little cousin's uncle, on his father's side, is Tyvon Branch for the strong safety for the Raiders. Kid I went to, my little sister and brother went to school with, and I used to play ball with in Syracuse, Andre Blatch. He just got released from the Washington Wizards. So much potential. Such a Syracuse nigga. He's just not doing shit with it. Who else? It's a couple niggas I went to school with in Virginia that they play overseas now, and they're actually doing big things. Tyrone Sally and Michael Doles. Mike was on the VCU team of 2005 that made the NCAA tournament. Him, Derek Reed, and my nigga Mark, they were on that team. And Tyrone was on West Virginia, and he was a 4-year starter there. Who else? I could go on and on about this though, but I don't really feel like doing all of that. So, if you ever come to New York, and like, pay attention to Twitter, pay attention to Tumblr, pay attention to any type of email that you get, because I missed out on meeting a lot of people. Like, I could have met Shawn Michaels. I could have met actually could have met John Cena one time, but I had to work that day. Let's see. There's a lot of people that I follow on Twitter that I could have met. Celebrities that I could have met, and just missed out on that because of timing, and just me being a regular lazy nigga that don't want to leave the house. Like, I had to get out of that. But if you're ever in New York and you want to meet someone, definitely pay attention to social media, because you never, and pay attention to where you're at, because 90% of the time, if you're in New York City and you're on Fifth Avenue, you're walking right by someone famous and you didn't even notice. Because that's what happened. That's how I met Michael J. Fox. My sister just told me yesterday that she met John Sally. She just came back from her lunch break, and that nigga, all 7'9" of him, is just standing there on the phone talking to someone, and she's like, "Oh, that's John Sally," and then walked off. Matter of fact, here's the kicker. In New York City, you're always gonna run across someone famous, but you're also gonna run across someone that had their moment and they still revel in it, but they're not doing anything. Like, boom, okay, I was on 125th Street and I met Otis from the Temptations movie. That shit was hilarious because I didn't even know it was him at first, because I was looking at the shorty that he was with, because shorty had a fat ass. And my baby mom was like, "Yo, isn't that what's the name from the Temptations?" I'm like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" She's like, "With the girl." I'm like, "Oh, that girl got a fat ass. I don't know who that nigga is though." So we walked all the way back up the block, because he was coming out the one of the stores we was about to go into. So we just U-turned, walked up the block to where that nigga was, and it was really him. And I'm sitting there like, "Oh, Otis, niggas is clowning you on 125th Street." But he's actually from here. Who else? Okay. Everybody seen Belly. So, remember the little niggas, Wise and Lockheed? Okay, one of them niggas was a rapper named Stan Spit. I was working at Blockbuster when Belly 2 came out. Please don't let me go into that. I'm not even gonna do no commentary on that. But I was working there when Belly 2 came out, and it was one morning I had to open, and I seen this light skinned nigga just come in here, and there was a girl that was in the back, and he had asked me, he was like, "Yo, you know, you got Belly 2?" I'm like, "Yeah, they over there in the corner." And he was like, "All right, I'm finna go holler at this shorty real quick though, but I'm gonna grab that." And I told him straight up, I'm like, "Bro, if you really respect that $5 that you about to spend on that, I wouldn't do that if I was you." So, I watched him, and I was sitting there looking at him. I'm like, "Yo, that nigga look mad familiar." So I'm sitting there talking to my manager, like, "Yo, that nigga look mad familiar. Why don't you walk over there and find out who that is? Like, why don't you go put these movies up real quick?" Because I was bossing niggas around like I really ran shit. And he went in the back anyway. So he was like, "Yo, I don't know who that nigga is though, but I'm going in the back because I got some shit to do. So you keep an eye on the front." So he came back up front and he probably with me for a minute. Turns out it was him, because I sat there and I looked at him. I'm like, "Oh wait, you the dude that was in the Big L video with with Miss Jones or whatever. He was like, yeah, that's me. I was in Belly, and I came to get Belly 2 to see what it was about. I'm like, bro, don't rent it. It's not worth your money. It don't got shit to do with the original Belly. He was like, yeah, well, you know, Belly had his 10-year anniversary, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bro, you're not really even seeing any royalties from that. Like, why are you sitting there trying to politic at Shorty that, you know, you a rapper and you an actor, but you coming in here with a construction outfit on, like you just finished working on the bridge on 145th Street. You know, like, I was about to shade the fuck out of him, but Shorty had already walked out, and then, you know, like, me and him politic for another couple minutes about the about Belly and shit, and then he actually rented Belly 2 and some other shit and bought like some candy or something and then left. And I didn't see the nigga since though, but the fact that that nigga was still trying to shine off of Belly, and it's like 9 years later and he's still out here trying to do work on that, like, bro, really? It'd be funny if he sees this though, cause like I clown him all the time about it though, but like, you didn't have no flow, you couldn't act, and then on top of that, everybody from Dipset shut you down because you thought you was doing hot shit because you was on that song with Big L and Miss Jones, but your verse was trash. Like, but I still bumped that song though, but it's only because it's Big L. Like, when it comes to his verse, like, I'll either fast forward it or I'll skip the song. And the song doesn't even actually have that many plays on my on my iTunes because of that. But there's some days I let it rock, some days I don't. I just really wanted to do this video just because I wanted to let people know, like, yo, if you do come to New York, you actually have a chance to meet people other than, you know, people that you fuck with in your regular circle, or Tumblr, or Twitter, or Facebook, or wherever. Like, all you gotta do is just keep your head up, pay attention. You'll never know who you see. So, you're out here, somebody else is out here, and they're probably sitting there thinking about, you know, oh, that's such and such from Tumblr. Like, I want to go say hi, but, you know, I don't know how that I come across like that. Like, you never know. So, just, everybody in New York ain't a dick. I'll put it like that. So, you can say hi to someone and not get stabbed. Alright?